Man, we are back with another episode of the Open Tapped podcast. And boy, I'm so excited tonight, man. Woo! Hey, look how stoic. Man, let me tell you something, man. Our our very first episode, we were, Joe and I, we decided. I'm Calvin Smith, this is Joe Carlos.
Hello.
Sorry.
I can't. I have an image in my head now because of something Reese said already. So
excited,
I can't take that image out of my head right now.
So,
I just want to say that.
when we gestated this idea, when we put it out into the world, when we birthed it, as Strange birthed the perfume and Boomerang,
Nice,
and put it out to the world.
Nice.
We had feedback from one of our friends, the people that we support, and we got love back from our man Maurice Hendrix,
Absolutely,
of surlyshirts.com.
Invaluable.
And since then, like, I got to be honest with you, the highlight of the show after the show is hearing from Reese. And one of the things that we did when we talked in the Reese podcast, the Surly podcast review, is we wanted to figure out what movies he liked.
Yeah.
And one of the very first one he mentioned actually was Baby Boy, along with some other things I love too, and Joe loves, but Baby Boy immediately, because I was already thinking
shot to the top of the list.
So we said season 2, we're going to make it a priority to cover the movie that we are covering tonight, John Singleton's 4th film, released in the summer of 2000, wow. Baby Boy. And so with no further ado, I want to introduce our man out of Chicago, out of DC by way of Chicago. That's how that goes, right?
That is how that goes, although you don't have to mention DC.
Oh, you're a Whitney Young alum? You're a Whitney Young alum?
I am.
Dolphins.
I'm
the
a
Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Been.
My elementary school was the Randolph Dolphins, man. I should have just flown to Chicago and did high school there.
Should have been a Dolphin.
Man, no other introduction is needed. By his, we got 2 Surly shirts on the.
We do have 2 Surly shirts.
We'll talk about Joe, the outlier, because he's outlier for a reason. I'm
just here.
The purveyor of the Surly shirts, Maurice Hendrix. Welcome to the Open Task podcast, brother.
Welcome to the Open Task podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. Shout out to Reese for showing up tonight. And I just want to get the first shout out to him live. No, it was my pleasure to support the first time around. It was funny. I was on IG. I saw Calvin post something, and I was like, "Podcast, huh? Okay, well, that brother supports me. I saw it, DM'd him. I said, what's the podcast subject matter?" He said, "Oh, it's movies. Why don't you check us out and tell me what you think?" Which is the worst thing you could tell a Morehouse man. We're gonna tell it, and I gave him some feedback, included Joe on it, and that's how the Surly podcast review came. And these brothers keep me up on what is it?
On a Thursday night, right?
Thursday night leading into Friday.
My bad.
I be trying to watch the movie and listen to the podcast, and then now I got to watch the podcast. So
we love you, man.
It's invaluable, and I can't say enough about how much it makes me you rethink about things you just said, even though because 9 times out of 10 I haven't listened to it yet. In fact, I don't even listen to it until after you reviewed it. So and then I go back like, man, golly, yeah. Or I'll be there 10 minutes in, then I got to fast forward to wherever we were talking about whatever that is. So it is truly invaluable. And having you here as a guest, we've loved all of our guests.
No, without a doubt.
But it doesn't really feel like a guest right now, to be perfectly honest.
Right, this feels natural.
Yes.
What are we? 10 seconds in, and I'm better than Cache? Shout out to Cache.
Here we go. Now I gotta hear this.
Love it, man.
It's 3 hours, but it's only 7:18 out there, so there's no telling how he'll watch this in real time, probably later in real time.
The love that the Noob shares is something different, man. Like the way y'all show love is unique.
Yeah, it's always competition. It iron sharpen iron.
In all fields of humanity, right? You guys are,
every endeavor.
There you go.
Are we on gallery view, Calvin? Or are we on speaker view?
So we are on gallery view, but like I still have not figured out. Still have not figured out how to make it because it's gonna show active speaker on YouTube. It's gonna show active speaker.
Okay. So, can you pin us? Can you pin us? This is probably should have been before.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Because if you pin all three, maybe it does. I don't know. I just did a podcast like that, a webinar, and I was literally producing. I was like in the truck trying to get it back to the person that we paid to speak. And so I was just wondering. I was curious.
Yeah. No, we're good. So let me say something real quick. So Joe is well on his way to earning the blue check mark here. Joe is famous now. He's gone viral.
No, I want to know. I want to get the audio back to me. No,
Joe has learned how to do. He's learned how to turn right instead of turning left. Is that what Zoolander? Oh, he couldn't turn left. He couldn't do left, or he can do right. I can't remember. Joe has learned to turn both. He's an ambi-turner now because he's a model. He's a male model. He is being featured, and seriously, man, I have so much love for this man. He's being featured by Vineyard Vines. Joe has been a staunch supporter of Vineyard Vines for years. He and his beautiful wife Lakeitha and beautiful daughter Sage have been featured in Black History Month ads for Vineyard Vines, and also Joe is promoting his photography through Vineyard Vines.
Thank you. Very happy. Thank you, Shep and Ian, if you're listening. But more importantly, thanks for the marketing team, Krista, who runs social media for all 7 of their accounts and Spotify, as well as Emily and Michael, the head writers for VV. But I appreciate it. It dropped yesterday. Our first little thing dropped yesterday, so it's great. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support, and they've been very clear about their feelings about social justice initiatives and put their money where their mouth is. And it's funny because there's other brands that have not done a thing, but I think there's room for being you and being like, oh shoot, that ain't us. You know what I'm saying? So in a weird way, I respect that. We do have actually a classmate, Aaron Booker, Aaron Booker Bowman. Her family. Dr. Aaron Booker Bowman. Her family, you got to get that mad dog behind it. But her family did. They were part of Target's Black History Month clothing campaign as well. So they big part of Target stuff. So they've been on that too. So it's really cool with its real people. Yeah, and when it's people you know. Yeah, when people know. So it's really cool when it's real people. So hey, congratulations to all of us. And I knew this Black History Month was gonna be supersized. I had a feeling, which I told them. Which I told them was Vineyard Vines as well. Yeah. So and they didn't censor that when I said it. So I appreciate that too. But
maybe next year I can represent Surly Shirts. And have,
I think every day is Black History Month.
Have my painting of Tupac and Biggie in the background with Bob Marley and riding a horse and all those other the pictures I'm posting on Instagram.
Shout out to you. We only have what's today? We have two more Black History Month episodes, and we had to bump Sopranos because we couldn't do that in Black History Month for obvious reasons, Paulie. For obvious reasons, we had to bump Sopranos for that.
No references to Moulions and
no Mouli references. Ditsun Spade. Ditsun Spade. Anyway, your consistent posts of this amazing Black art is mesmerizing.
I love us.
Today's with Barack in the Supreme t-shirt. Bro, what the?
But his shirt tucked in though. It's tucked in.
Like Michael Jackson and The Way You Make Me Feel. Go back and look.
He's going back and forth with me because I'm doing fake Black history.
Yes, I love them, Reese.
Oh no, yeah, I've noticed that too.
Yeah. From the house and
I saw Kurt's. I saw Kurt's and I was dying laughing. Yeah, dying laugh. I mean, so hey, there's room for us all. It's a Big Ten. Black History Month has a really Big Ten. Like Cirque du Soleil.
All right.
That's it.
All right.
You got any regrets last episode, brother? You got any regrets?
No regrets. I feel like, we did Cotton Club Encore. I can legitimately say we did Cotton Club Encore better than anybody has done it.
But shout out to Francis Ford Coppola
Yes.
for doing it.
Yes.
And we're gonna send it to Maurice Hines, although we didn't mention him one time.
Well, maybe that's a regret there.
No, I was gonna say that because I was like, come on, it's one Reese in there.
Yes.
Yeah, it didn't even like register for me until I'm sitting here like, dang, we had a guy named Maurice in a movie,
and we didn't
say a word. We did shout outs to Reese, but we didn't mention Maurice Hines. We just said his brother, Gregory Hines' brother.
Yeah,
which is probably even worse than.
We'll send it to him and your buddy Jimmy. And
oh yeah, Jimmy. Oh, my buddy Jimmy from Chicago.
No, your buddy James Remar.
Oh yeah, Jimmy. James Remar. Okay.
No. All right. Tonight, talking about John Singleton's fourth movie. Talking about, and this is highly anticipated, man. Like there was, there's the obvious history there that I'm sure we'll talk about. The reasons why it was pushed back and all this kind of stuff. But man, this movie, Baby Boy, has gone, and it's the reason we're doing it during Black History Month, because you turn on BET at any moment in time, Baby Boy is, you're very likely to see Baby Boy either on or on the guide coming up.
2 a.m.
2 a.m. Yeah, it might preempt the uncut. You never know. Baby Boy is out there, and like I said, it was highly anticipated. It came out the summer of 2000. I'll save my where I was for last, because I got a shout out and a nickname for someone. So Joe, where were you when you saw Baby Boy?
I was at the basement of the 145 where I lived my last 2 years of college. Basement of 145. It was on BT, and we watched it. I was watching parts of it, and as I intimated to you and Reese, I didn't see it fully through, uninterrupted, unedited. The actual version, the movie, the film version. I didn't see that till last night, fully. So I realized 30 minutes in, like, I've only watched a very sanitized version of this film before, and although I did know of what's going to be mentioned later, I was aware of that. But when Calvin said we are back, I couldn't stop thinking about that. By the way, so that's there. Like those two girls, like the girls in Lovecraft, they were in my head like forever. Like the little girl, like forever. And I went by that. I went by that archway the other day.
Oh my gosh. Pickaninny City.
I was jacked up, by the way. I went by the archway. It's right downtown. But anyway, saw it in 145 in the basement, parts of it, but then watched it officially February 10th, 2021.
Never too late, man. Reese,
thank you.
Where were you? What were you doing? Who you see it with?
Did it come out in 2000 or 2001?
Definitely came out in the summer of 2000. And I know that because I know who I saw it with and under what circumstances.
Okay.
Yes.
If it was the summer of 2001, I know I did not see it in the theater.
Okay.
I know I didn't. So I believe that I was in Denver. I was in graduate school.
Okay.
University of Denver.
Okay.
No shout out to the Pioneers.
I was waiting for.
Hey, by the way, Reese, you're right. 2000.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how this happened then, but all right. Continue.
Yeah. So it does not change for me. It was I'm still in grad school, and it came out in the summer. I did not go see it in the theater, so I had to have waited for it to come on TV. And you're doing something. You look up, what is this? You check it out. Started watching it, and I'm like, oh my, this is something. This is something. The unintended comedy got me, and I think the first time I probably watched it by myself in my house, and then I probably immediately called like DC, and was like, have you seen this? And DC is, while he is a film snob, and he has all the degrees behind his name, he loves a good ratchet film too. So
again, the sweatshirt comes into play. Highly educated, highly ignorant.
It's there. So yeah, I think I enjoyed it in Denver.
Okay. So imagine, if you will, young Killer Cal in this summer of 2001. Apparently, I was at Meharry Medical College doing a summer program here in Nashville, Tennessee. I had just finished Morehouse. I thought this is the summer between, because the principal person involved was a young lady I met at said summer program. And she was immediately. I have this thing about becoming a rival with these intelligent young ladies. I like sparring intellectually. She didn't like that at all. She as a matter of fact, she hated that. But nonetheless, I convinced her that we should become friends, and we became friends. And I wanted to be more than friends. And she continually rebuffed me. And she's the master of the curveball. So her nickname is Sandy Koufax. So Sandy Koufax of Hampton, the Hampton Institute, aka Hampton University.
Institute's fine.
I hope she's listening. She'll know who she is.
Oh, so
we saw this together at the. This is one of the first films I saw at the 27 screen theater, the 100 Oaks 27 in.
This is a very famous place in Nashville, by the way.
Man.
Many of your stories come right back.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. I can't wait till I talk about the 4-for-1 and the art of the 4-for-1 one of these days, because I did a 4-for-1. I'll never do that again in life. Reese. I think
you mentioned that.
Did I mention it already?
You mentioned
the 3. I thought you mentioned the 3-for-1. I mentioned my 3-for-1, and I thought you mentioned yours, but 4
in one day. Yeah, I did mention it because I talked about the fact that I saw like Biker Boys and
that's right. It was Biker Boys. Yeah,
that's two.
And I still don't. Charlie's Angels 2, and I don't remember the fourth one. But yeah, so me and Sandy Koufax saw this together. She continues to curve me, and she's the master of the curveball. She's Nolan Ryan at this point.
But get Joe Boo some rum.
But I do think Harris was patterned after Nolan Ryan. I'm almost positive.
Yeah,
that's who he was patterned. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
I know it has nothing to do with nothing, but he brought.
What does anything have to do with anything?
It's an open tab.
It's open tab. Exactly. So yeah, but me and Sandy Koufax saw this movie, and she took it very seriously. I like Reese, immediately gravitated towards the comic aspects of the movie. I thought that this movie immediately jumped into my top 3 of the most unintentionally funny movies ever. Number 1 clearly is The Color Purple. The Color Purple has no business being funny at any point in time, and there are times where I just have to stop and contain myself with laughter. I'm sure Spielberg did not intend it, and I'm sure Alice Walker's disappointed if she's listening to hear.
She just had a birthday. I'm sure she's
not worried about me. She's not worried about me.
Good. Yeah, she's
not worried about me.
2 days ago.
Yeah, man. So this movie is the peak of unintentional comedy, but was intended as a drama very clearly. I think that John Singleton at a certain point he then he acknowledged that that there are moments, but certainly I viewed it as unintentional comedy, and to this day, my most recent viewing last night, I had to take a pause for the cause when I was laughing too hard at one of the moments. So there's that, man. So Reese, let me ask you this: who's the unsung hero of this movie for you? Who do you? Because I think we're gonna spend a lot of time talking about this part. I feel like who's the unsung hero?
For me, the unsung hero was my man Sweet Pea.
Dyslexia.
Yes.
Dyslexia.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know what else.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and I think both of you all know this about me. I like to believe that I'm ride or die for my friend.
Yes, you are.
If you need something, want something, got a problem, I'm trying to be the one that's there first on the scene, and let's get her done. Sweet Pea was down. Like it did not matter. It did not matter what was happening.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. When Jody gets robbed, first of all, he's just his running buddy. Like they just kicking it. They're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Chilling. But then when Jody gets robbed, Jody goes to his house. He's immediately like, get my gun. And when he asked Jody, he says, hey, what do you want to do about this guy? And he was like, if you want to do this, I'm with it. If you don't want to do it, I'm with it. He even asked, hey, Melvin giving you a problem?
Right. Right.
What's up? I'll take care of that too.
Right.
But there are two other things that stood out to me about his friendship and being down. When Jody leaves the house, where did he go sleep that night? He didn't go to Yvette's. He wasn't staying home with his mama. I believe that he went to Sweet Pea's house with his lady and her mom.
Because
they're insinuating in there.
Right, because the next couple scenes, that's where he was.
Yeah. Right.
That, and on the two gunplay outings, Sweet Pea came up with those plans. Yeah. The plan on how to get the guys in the park. I'm gonna stumble like I'm drunk, lower their defenses, and then we got them. Then it was his plan. We're gonna cut the lights out, and so Sweet Pea, not only was he down, he had the plan. And then at the very end, where he was like, okay, we are on the cusp of solving this problem. Go ahead. when Jody Joe hesitated, he did not.
He did not.
And I forgot the drive-by scene. He saw, oh, that's not Yvette, and immediately up the strap.
Yeah. Right. He was prepared. He definitely had the plan. Jody asked him what he was good at. He's robbing. He used those skills, turning the lights off. You know what I mean? Like Reese, that's true, man. So one thing that you guys have to know about Reese when we do the review is that Reese is very astute at the art of firearms. He knows about firearms in depth. And one thing he always points out is the inaccuracies of the clips in movies. Tell us about Sweet Pea's clip. How do you do?
So here's the thing that I always notice. So in movies they shoot until the slide cocks back and it's empty. So then you count the bullets beforehand to know how many bullets they had in the magazine. Right. And it's kind of, in this one though, it was a trick question when I said, well, how many bullets were in Sweet Pea's magazine? Because he didn't fire until it was empty. It never went back. So you don't know if he had 3 more or 5 more.
Or a cheat code.
or a cheat code.
Like Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have a revolver. I don't. I know my 5 bullets, and that's it.
So did it seem realistic though?
It definitely seemed realistic because in different places you can have a different number of magazine size. Here in the district, you are limited to 10.
Right.
So you better get them in a below. But then too, if it takes you 10, maybe when you'll fight to win. You'll be on the post game in heaven. Like, it just wasn't my day. He was the better man. My hat's off to him. No disrespect. I take nothing away from him. Yeah, so it seemed realistic. I mean, he upped it, blasted a couple times, got in the street, blasted a couple more.
Okay.
And he probably still had some more to go, especially if they are illegal firearms and they are not abiding by the magazine regulations in LA, which is
very likely
true.
Yeah.
Very likely.
You think? Yeah.
Probably had to max out 17, 20 something.
There you go.
Man, wow. Joe, who's your unsung hero of the movie?
I mean, as you can see behind me, I'm you know,
your team Sweet Pea.
Yeah, I it's Sweet Pea, but and for several other reasons, actually, that Reese obviously went over, and I thought that I was talking to my brother about it earlier today. This is Omar's finest acting, and that's not like a dig or anything like that. I just think I think he embodied that character, and I truly believed from the walk, from the way he wore the Dickies, the way his feet, you know, just everything, he embodied it.
Yeah.
And I believe Sweet Pea, but to me the beauty is that one of the greatest parts of Sweet Pea's character and the way that Omar played it was his humanity.
Okay.
And how it was rooted, everything is rooted in something. He's got a code that he's trying to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though he is truly there are certain ride or die people. I mean, like Doc Holliday comes to mind in Tombstone.
Yeah.
Not Tom Skerritt, Sizemore in Heat. I just for the thrill, man, you know. And there's others, but if you think about it, as these LA, and I'm thinking like LA stories, the guys are just like, man, I'm just down, like, you know, I'm in the car. Munster, O-Dog, Munster and Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
You know, like they're ready to go. Like, what's up? Yeah. So I think it's very, very similar, but he embodies all those, and then brings that layer of humanity to it where he's like, this is y'all my family. I'm trying to build something with y'all. And he meant it. And when he looked back and said, hey, hold up, I'm talking to my family right now.
Yeah.
Faker, at first you think like, all right, bro, you're doing what you got to do to get out of the house. But obviously it worked, you know, and he meant it. And when he got baptized in the end, and then he kisses this girl, and then and then he pulls back and hugs. Yeah. It was everything. And then even after they go into the plan, how they're going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
Not scare him, kill this guy. Let's pray first. Let's pray. Yeah. We're going to do this, and then we're going to pray about it. Because we know that, you know, the inevitability of what this is. Yeah. So I love Sweet Pea for all those reasons. And the one hitter quitter. I mean,
oh man,
that's he's in the pantheon of, and if you've ever seen that happen,
unfortunately I have.
It's not a pretty thing to watch.
No, it's not.
It's better in a park. It's better in a park.
Yeah,
because I've seen it in a narrow Morehouse hallway, dorm hallway.
After a little argument.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, when your back is to the wall, so that's even worse because it's 2 licks, you know, at least 2 licks.
Yeah,
you hit the wall, then you hit the flesh 3. Shoot, really. So, but I thought he was great for all those reasons, and he's a reason to watch it again. He is truly a reason to watch it again because you'll watch. There's little things about what he does that you can pick up on, and I knew he was going to be entertaining. Unstable female, you know, I knew that was going to be entertaining, but he does it throughout, man, and he's great.
Yeah, he handled Looney Tune, you know, like he recognized the heart. He got heart. And...
But I was gonna say I did appreciate our Spellman sister one, Adrienne Joy Johnson as Juanita as well, maybe. But Sweet Pea is just too big. I mean, he looms too large.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
That's why I chose this picture because his head is like half the size of the screen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And shout out to his boy Do Dirty. Did we ever see Do Dirty? Was Do Dirty actually in the film? You know, Do Dirty was his boy, like that he did the Robin with and everything like that. You know,
he go to his house every day and play Madden.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna come back to Omar Gooding because I'll come back to Omar Gooding.
Oh yeah, you said you had some contrary thoughts, beliefs. Okay, go ahead.
He's going for it. But my unsung hero is my man Melvin.
Yeah,
I think, you know, and so I had some vigorous conversations with some of the young ladies that I interact with, and one of them, my chief of the medical staff at our clinic, Dr. Rosalina Muckle. Shout outs to King High in Detroit, Rosalina Muckle. Yeah, man, she made it.
King High.
Her
Quentin Johnson, James Britton, and Howard
and Jeffrey Jones.
Jeff Jones and Clarence Saylor. A lot of good people out of I know. You know. See, okay.
Clarence. Okay, sorry. So no, you could. So yeah, Melvin, man. Melvin was my unsung hero. The OG. He really all Melvin was trying to do was get him a nice lady on his arm You know what I mean? He found him a nice young lady who happened to have a son who was grown in number but not in mentality. And he was trying to spit some wisdom to the young man. He tried every approach that a G tries to know to deal with this young man. And, he had to, unfortunately, show him through the school of hard knocks a little bit and knock him around a little bit and, intimidate him and tell him a little bit about the jailhouse love and how that goes. But Melvin was truly about Juanita. He was trying to look out for Jody. He was responsible. He owned up to when he planted the weed plant. He apologized immediately, said, "I did it, and it'll never happen again." You know what I mean? And in a sincere way. He liked the extra medium Dickies jumpsuit with the sleeves missing. So that was a flaw. Shout out to my boy Euless who looked for a Dickies jumpsuit for years to emulate. I don't know why he wanted to emulate Melvin as much as he did, but he
didn't go to Moreland Avenue right now, Moreland and 20, right now in Atlanta. Next time he comes to town, you let me know. Moreland and 20 right now. Okay, he takes the Moreland South exit, not the North exit, the South exit, the Zestos. Trust me.
I love at the end when Melvin, one of Melvin's homeboys is with him. He's like, "Man, next time get a bigger jumpsuit." Like everybody knows his jumpsuit's too tight. But
that dude was in Shaft. That dude was in Shaft, and John Singleton Shaft. Huh. It must be like his best friend. It must be like a best friend is. Yeah. Because Shaft was 2000.
Yeah.
So he looked out
for his people. He looked out for his people. He would put his people in his film.
Yeah.
I mean, but Melvin was my guy. You know what I mean? Like again, he's just trying to find some love, man. You know what I mean? He did a bid. He did a dime. You know what I mean? And was trying to spit some knowledge and getting clowned by this young knucklehead. He's talking about, with his old head, all this kind of gun. And he was talking Guns and Butter. I don't really know exactly what Guns and Butter was, but I had an idea. and it reminded me so much of so many other old heads I know that will come with that philosophy. And I'm sure when he was saying it, because I'm that guy now for my medical students, so I'll come up with some analogy that sounds great to me, and they have no idea what is he talking about. The Big Lebowski. Who's this Big Lebowski he's talking about? Who's this dude? You know what I mean? Makes perfect sense to me. Melvin was just trying to make his way. Was trying to be a good role model for somebody that clearly needed a role model. Yeah. In the end, was there for Jody at the moment when he needed him the most. Yeah. And it came true for him. So and Ving Rhames, man, like Ving Rhames has a sordid history with me. Given like this, the way he accepted the award, gave the award to Jack Lemmon. He's the Arby's. I personally like Arby's. But I know the reputation that Arby's has in the streets, and to be the voice of Arby's, he's his own man. Holiday Heart, Ving Rhames does his thing.
I was waiting for Holiday Heart. I just knew Holiday Heart was going to make an appearance.
I'm not mad at him at all.
I was waiting for you to say Holiday Heart. That's
But Ving, Ving he's not afraid to take a role and to take that role and do his damn thing with it. Yeah. And I think Melvin to this day remains my favorite of Ving Rhames' roles, and that includes Luther Stickle, that includes my man Marcellus Wallace. Yeah, man. Like I think that Melvin was my favorite Ving Rhames altogether. Just
not the Secret Service agent in Dave. I
know
he had hair in that.
He did have, and that's jarring. That is jarring to see.
That was in 93. That was in 93. And in 94, he's Marcellus Wallace bald.
With the Band-Aid.
With the Band-Aid.
And we all took his soul out. They took his soul out. That's what that.
Yeah, we as black people know that's where he cut up razor bumps or keloid. Yeah. It was one of the he had that already. He had the keloid already.
Yeah.
If you look at Dave.
But they took his soul out. But do you know that theory?
I read it.
Are you familiar with
that? I probably saw Pulp Fiction in the theater like 9 times.
Anyway, so yeah, Ving Rhames is my guy. Melvin was my guy. I learned the technique. I'm not strong enough to use that technique.
Admission.
For most young ladies, occasionally I'll find a petite young lady that I can do the the ASF with, but I am known to cook a meal, Melvin's crack style. But yeah, so my man Melvin, man, shout out to him, man.
That's when you know you've seen the film. I mean, you can't say it until you've seen Melvin's crack. I mean, and Reese brought it up earlier in the pre-show, and now I cannot. It's stuck in my head. So unfortunately, and the beauty was Tyrese's reaction, Jody's reaction. Like, oh, I don't want to. Oh man, I don't want to see all that.
No, the beauty was that he offered him breakfast. He offered him something.
He did offer.
He wants some breakfast.
Melvin was polite, man. He was a polite G. He was just, he's just trying to do his thing, man. He's trying to do his thing. Let's talk about the little things. And shout out to Denzel and his new release on HBO Max. I've not seen as yet.
The little things. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I was like, what? What the hell did Denzel got to do with this?
We're very prescient,
we try to be.
Reese, what little things stood out to you in this film?
I think the little things for me were things that I go back to the comedy, the little catchphrases or things that last. And this will probably spill over into you all's when you talk about what the impact was. But I think if you listen to, there's a song out now by like the Baby or somebody. I'm old and washed. Don't ask me who it is. But he says I choke a little cat out like he's baby boy, and so the choke out scene, the Snoop kicking over the fort. My daughter built a fort, and
oh yes, and the best part is she calls it a fortress every time. She will not say fort, and she's like, "It's my fortress," and I was, oh, you didn't build your little fort.
I couldn't say the full line, but I kicked it over. I was like, "Forget your fort." She's just like, "What are you doing?" I was like, one day
you'll get it. One day, right?
One day.
We'll watch it together and laugh.
Yes,
yes.
But no, so the little things that last, just the comedy, just the comedy. When he gets mad about the guy putting the cups on top of the Alizé.
One Alizé a day.
One Alizé a day. Why you put the cup on there like I'm gonna drink it outside?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
He took great. He was trying great offense.
He was trying to look out.
Yeah, it's a free cup. Like,
yeah.
Like he was mad. Those three things. Those are things that I always come back to. Like, I know that's coming. Even the part where she finds the condoms in the car and she's like, "What are these?" He says, "Those are condoms. What you doing with those?" Like he tries to turn it back on her.
Yes.
He tried.
Yes.
Like,
that's a staple in the Killer Cow repertoire.
Yeah, he tried to reverse it on her. I was like,
reverse it.
Topsy-turvy that mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the little unintentional comedy. Oh, and one of my favorite that I discovered later on in life is when they get into the argument and he pushes Melvin and Melvin knocks him through the coffee table. His mom, from the sonic boom of the knockout, she flails into the wall. Like Melvin doesn't touch her, but she like, and so like there's a meme going around now like, Melvin, the first person to hit you so hard your mama felt it. If you go back and look, she falls back into the wall as if she got hit.
Wow, I never noticed that. I'm gonna have to check.
Yeah, I got it. Another 24 hours of it. So
$3.99.
Yeah, $3.99. Yeah, I got another 24 hours with it. So I definitely watch that. I was gonna say, look, those are amazing. Little things for me. It seemed very, very. Boys in the Hood was like, it was LA. It was an LA that we'd never seen before.
Yeah.
So we took it at face value, like this is LA. But then this thing, like what he went back and did, 10 years later?
Yeah.
11 years later?
Yeah.
That was that thing was so authentic, down to Ving's tats, the
Hoovers.
The Hoovers. Across his back, the jailhouse tats.
Yeah.
The Mexican American kids. the Daytons, the Mexican American kids, him working on the bikes.
Yeah.
I thought Singleton did a great, it's not little, but it's big, because I thought Singleton did a great job of making an authentic LA story.
Yeah.
About a specific slice of life in LA, and different than The Wood, different than Boys in the Hood, different than House Party. And yet it seemed like they were enjoying life, though. Everybody's like enjoying life on some level. We don't really say gangs, although all the kids who stole the Alizé are wearing they're saying it right. I mean, and John Siegel got to live there too. You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's there. Like, you know what it's about. But
yeah,
I love that LA authenticity, man, because his bike was so cool, and I didn't even notice it till the end. It says Nympho on it, which of course, like, okay, on the nose, right? So
Yeah.
But that was his passion, was working with his hands and working on bikes and making sure things, wheels and automotive stuff. So that could have been something that maybe he could have turned into a trade. But I really love that authenticity, that LA authenticity.
Yeah.
And throughout, from the women, what they were wearing, to the music, to everything else. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
That was the little things for me.
Yeah, no. So little things for me. A couple things I wanted to point out. One was the music. So in the background, constantly the soundtrack is bumping. This soundtrack, and I know we usually talk about it a little later in the show, but this soundtrack was one that I was in the midst of like the deepest LimeWire fix I had been in my life. And so, like, I wanted every song. I wanted Gator in the Transitions, Straight Fucking. I wanted, Baby Boy. Who, I forget the girl's name that sings Baby Boy at this point now, man. And You, and all these songs from this movie that are constantly playing in the background. And every time you watch it, you hear these songs. It was a good earworm for me. I really enjoyed that part of it. But I also enjoyed, like, to speak more to the LA experience. The different locations that you talk about. One was the same store where Ricky picks up the lottery ticket and the milk and the cornmeal.
Wow.
Is the same store where Jody gets the Alizé. It's the same store.
So they're
same
neighborhood.
Same neighborhood. And so there's that part of it. There's Lucy's. So when I went to LA for the first time, I said I had to take 2 different tours. I had to take the official Compton tour, and I had to go see the spots from Baby Boy. I had to see, and so I had to go to Lucy's, man. And my homeboy OJ was like, well, Lucy's. I think OJ said, I don't want to misquote OJ because OJ said I ain't say that, but I feel like he said that Lucy's wasn't really that good in real life. But that scene in Lucy's,
it didn't have to be good though. If you think about it, they just that's the one that let them, like, probably gave them free food, and and they said yes. Yeah. When other places said no, they just probably said yes.
And so I've been in a drive-through argument with a significant other, and that whole the awkwardness of the person just trying to give you your food, and by Yvette, just give me my shake, like he's like, thank you so much when he says that to the drive-through worker. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that whole, like, I mean, I was somewhat triggered by it, but also it's fun memories also, you've experienced it, you've been through it, you love it, good and bad. So Lucy's, like, I love the authenticity of locations. The Cake Man, because Cake Man's a real dude. Cake Man is there in the Slauson SWAT. I'm pretty sure either Slauson or Crenshaw SWAT meet, one of the SWAT meets down there. Cake Man's there. John Singleton himself trying to sell some bootleg movies. Yep. You know what I mean? Like that's a real LA experience. I mean, it's not unrealistic to have somebody trying to sell you an unhanging dress, just to dress on, holding the dress up and like, hey, buy this dress. You know what I mean? And Sweepy, God bless his heart, he almost sold that dress to the woman, man. If he hadn't, that close, man. You know what I mean? Like he would have made a sale, man. That's LA. Like, it really was. And I unintentionally have a theme, as you guys will see this season. A lot of my movies are LA movies. And this is the one that began my real true love. I had never been to LA prior to seeing this movie. this began my real true love affair with LA, and wanting to kind of see what that's like, what that life is. And so the LA stuff, the music, the there's just so much in the way of John Singleton trying to bring out the best in young actors, which I appreciate. This being the first role for Taraji and for Tyrese.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend a little time on Taraji, but
Okay.
please keep going. I thanks for bringing her up. Unfortunately, this far into that, I should have said something earlier. I'm sorry. Sorry, my sister Taraji.
But yeah, man, his leads, he always chooses a young, a young, unproven, untalented, no, I shouldn't say untalented, young, unproven lead who rises to the occasion and really carry the movie in a way that is realistic. I mean, again, say what you will about the plot points of the film and how the comedy aspects of it, they carry the movie with aplomb and make it very eminently watchable, so much so that it is on BET all the time. You want to see
Absolutely.
it. You want to see them acting, and I'm sure, like I said, we'll talk about the virtues of said acting, because that's different than what the point I'm making. But they did the thing nonetheless. It's entertaining, eminently entertaining.
So I want to follow up on that real quick and ask you both, because you all are experts on this, and I admittedly I'm not, and happy to say no, I'm not. But I was talking to my brother about it earlier, and he said it seems like everybody was acting around Tyrese in this. So minus Snoop. But let's look at the principles that we've already mentioned, because we haven't mentioned Snoop at all yet. Let's just say the principles were, with all due respect and love for Calvin Broadus. But Taraji did her thing, right? Yeah. We talked about Omar just going off. You've already mentioned Melvin. Ving Rhames did his thing. I'm gonna mention Adrian Joy Johnson personally. Okay, I just will. But even if you went the other three, and then there's Tyrese, who's kind of finding his way through the whole thing. Yeah. Which though is kind of like, okay, maybe that's the whole point. He doesn't have it figured out. And all right, he's really good at this. He's really good at this part, because it seems like everybody else sees the stagnation, and he's just living in it. Like, it's Tuesday, we're gonna we're gonna get this money. It's Tuesday, or we're gonna go to Peanuts, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna go play Bones in the backyard with Sweet Pea, and then and worry about the rest. Yeah, like the cat's out here trying to kill me, but I'm just in this sunny, beautiful LA day. So it just seems like everybody else was doing the acting job of their lives, and like all these other people doing these great acting jobs, and then Tyrese is just kind of there. I'm curious about your opinions on that.
What do you think, Reese?
I can see that, but I also think that was kind of the point. Yeah. The interesting thing, and you guys hinted at it earlier about pushing the movie back because this was originally written for Pac.
Right.
And he died. I couldn't see Pac in this role.
No.
He was too hardcore.
Too alpha.
Too alpha, too edgy, too confident.
I can see him playing Omar.
Yeah.
He could do Sweet Pea.
Yeah, but
playing Sweet Pea, thank you.
So I think that Tyrese's awkwardness and his being a beat behind, all that worked within the character of being this kind of loser, young guy, not knowing what he's supposed to be doing, trying to puff his chest out. I'm a man. Yeah, but you're living at your mama's house. As Snoop told him from jail.
Yeah.
Living at your mama's house, can't live up to your responsibilities as a man.
Did we ever establish his age? Did we ever establish Jody's age?
20.
Oh, okay.
He's 20.
And he already did some time.
He had been to jail. Which is, he might not have went to the pen. He might have went to jail.
Yeah.
Or he might even been to baby booking.
Baby booking.
Hey, shout out to my man.
We're coming back.
Name Bryce. Back. You can't even do it in baby booking?
Man, she was so mad.
Stay the fuck away from my son.
So I think that while it might not have been intentional, I think it was probably intentional in the casting.
Sure.
And he fulfilled his portion of that, I would say.
Yeah.
And I love that take. I just want to say I love that take. And I think about it in 2000, 2001, whatever, I know when it was released, but let's say summer 2000, they make the movie. After Shaft is already out, let's say they're making the movie. Who else is playing that? The bench was shallow.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a deep bench. You're either in The Best Man or something or Boomerang, and there wasn't like a lot of or they had a lot of kid actors, but we didn't have that age group down pat, because Dule Hill wasn't going to do that. He was just in She's All That, so it wasn't going to be Dule Hill, and it wasn't going to be
Sean, my man Sean, which Sean was it?
Mekhi Phifer. I'm sure Mekhi Phifer read for. I'm sure Mekhi read for it. I'm sure Omar read. I'm sure they all read for it, but. To Reese's point, I think the casting on it was solid. It was solid. But what's your opinion on that theory? Unless he kind of broke it down.
Yeah, no, definitely. So here's my thing is that we've got, since in the interim in the 20 years since, we've gotten a lot of Tyrese. We know Tyrese real well now.
And that might be what I'm looking at too.
We know him real well now, whether he's throwing in the towel, or any number of gaffes that he's done on any of the Versus streams. Tyrese is he's made his mark in our culture, so we view him in that lens now. That there is some Jody in him. Certainly,
he is Jody.
He is Jody. That being said, I think that for a first time actor, I think he held his own. Like, it wasn't like he was just being blown off the screen by these, and truly, like what we know about Taraji now, she was a titan. She was, she's Oscar nominated. Did she win an Oscar? She won an Oscar, right? Did she win an Oscar? Or she's been Oscar nominated for Benjamin Button. She was nominated for Benjamin Button. And she's been, she's holding her own on network television on Empire. Like, Cookie is Cookie. Like, Taraji, she's established herself.
She was a lead. She was a lead on a CBS show prior to that, like a second lead. I mean, not Blue Bloods. It was some not CSI, but some other detective show.
Some show like that. Yeah.
Prior to that, too.
Yeah. So I say that to say he's not being blown off the screen by her. He's holding his own there. And so that alone says that, he has some chops, Like, I'm a fan of Roman in the Fast and Furious series. I like Tyrese in that, We Hungry. That's, and that's Singleton too, from Fast 2. But I think that, while I don't think he's ever going to win an award for his acting. He certainly was not, he was not they weren't exactly running rings around him either. And I think to the point that you're making, I think that the veteran actors like Adrian Joy, my former Miss Marina White, my mom's reunion classmate, AJ, love you, AJ. I think that they were supportive of him, and lifting him up, if as it were, in this.
And maybe that's the thought. Maybe that's the thought. But I think Ving Rhames being the Juilliard trained,
yes,
classically trained actor. Definitely he carried him. I think he curried him, young. No, shout out to where Reese is. He curried him, young. And Eben Allen, who texted me twice during this during this podcast, as Eben is wanting to do. So I'm with you. It was a theory. I was just curious. I thought he did well too, and for only having like one or this is it, other than the Coca-Cola commercial.
Yeah.
And some videos.
It only got bad. It only got bad when he was with someone else who could really act, which was the woman from Yvette's Job.
Yeah.
Their scene is hard to watch.
Yeah, that's arabesque. That's BET arabesque level acting.
Yes.
Right there.
Why did BET stop that? Sunday Arabesque Films?
Man,
why did they stop that?
I don't know. And one of my,
that was beautiful.
my classmate, Dwayne Wright, aka Panama Jackson, my boy. One of his pleasures in life was the BET Arabesque movie, and I used to really enjoy his breakdowns. And to an extent, he does that with the if Tyler Perry had a writing room now stuff. But You know,
he
like
does. My brother's in it in the writing in his time period's writing room. Literally, my brother was in that writing room today.
Thank God.
Yes, today.
So you know, I think that you're right. When those two got together, it showed you the potential of horror.
Why you want to do this, girl? To make my girl mad? I'm
right?
Like, oh,
yeah,
what?
very wooden. Very
how long
stiff.
do you think those days were? How long do you think that it took to shoot that scene?
Oh my gosh! I don't.
And it's nighttime too. It's like we got another night shoot. Yeah, we're over. We're behind.
Right.
Because
40
of
takes,
the two of you.
The over under on the takes. I wouldn't want to take a number of shots compared to the over.
But God bless her.
Well,
and everything about her. God
Pandora,
bless her.
appropriately on the nose naming Pandora. You know, I mean,
I'm fine. Flipper, Purify, Gator. I don't care. At this point, Bleak, Gilliam.
Yeah,
I'm fine. Pandora, that works.
Yeah.
And God bless her. I just want to say that one more time.
So I want to spend a little time, man, talking about the societal impact of the film and really, like, they set it up. And here's how you know it was a drama. They set it up with the Frances Cress Welsing, like the her theory on black men, right? And
it never came back.
Never came back there. And
we had a psychologist. We have a psychologist on. So I'm just gonna sit back and listen after you say what you got to say.
No, what I got to say is, you know, the one thing about me, while I do have a degree in psychology from Morehouse and a degree in forensic psychology from BU, when I'm off the clock, it's all ignorance, baby. It's the other side of the circle. And so, you know, but no, something that I saw last night when I viewed this that I had never seen before, never put two and two together before, and I felt stupid about it. But Calvin kind of touched on it. That opening scene when they're showing him in the womb and then he gets disrupted is actually Yvette having the abortion.
Yes.
I didn't put that together until I was watching it late last night, and you could hear her voice overlay over it, and maybe that's for the first time I listened to that and was like, oh, okay. Yeah. But yes, they never came back to that theory. You know, it was just the opening, and you know, pan left to him eating lemon heads in the parking lot.
Right. So the stunted growth of black males, man, the stunted growth, and I mean, you know, it's hard to watch at times just how immature Jody is in this movie. You know, from him basically taking ownership of her car because he put some Dayton's on her car, like just no sense of
he tinted it too,
and tinted it too.
And fixed the brakes.
So you know what I mean?
That's
and he paid the phone bill.
We're close to 1,000.
He put groceries in the fridge when he's staying there. He put groceries in the fridge.
Yeah, you know? I guess you don't worry about your son eating when you're not there. I guess
every time I see him, he's growing. So he's eating something.
Yeah, true. He's eating something. Yeah, you working.
But
so
this young man, I mean, his stunted growth, and then when he gets kicked out of Yvette, he's not really staying with Yvette, but he's staying with Yvette. He's the first homosexual in movies. You know what I mean? He then joins the. Thank you. He joins like he's the leader of this bike gang of young men, like of boys, like little boys. But he truly is the same mental age as these kids.
Yeah,
he just happens to have working adult functional Tanner stage 5 sexual organs, and he can do the beat it up right dance and all this.
Literally,
right.
Make some beautiful babies.
Make some beautiful babies, and earn some tacos and a clean home for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But like his stunted growth, and it got to the point where he started a regression in Yvette's life, where Yvette's sucking her thumb. Yvette is wearing pigtails. You know what I mean? Like she's regressed dealing with this guy. And, again, we don't know all of Yvette's backstory. Certainly she got herself into that situation. And we can talk about like her and how her friend basically was giving her bad advice and doing all bad all by herself on her end. You know what I mean? But Yvette surely had it together enough to be raising a young man, and had a good job. Her job looked like it was a decent job. I mean, she's okay. Well, she's in a call center. She got a bigger cubicle than Pandora got.
I thought it was not a call center, but more like a telemarketing place.
I thought it was more telemarketing. I thought it was more telemarketing too. Like think The Office season 5.
Fair enough. Okay.
The Jan or season 4, the Jan days when he had to do the second job.
Fair
but
enough.
She was there all day. She was there all day. So I think, or maybe the Jaiwalas, in Slumdog Millionaire, because it seemed like it was a cell phone company.
Comparatively, compared to Boost and Jody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she got taxes coming out. She got taxes coming. Yeah,
right.
Forbes.
She got a W-2. You know what I mean? So the point I'm making though is that like I think Jody was dragging her down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
no question.
And so like I don't think that it's not that I don't think. I know for a fact movies had not really covered and put an intense glare on the black males. Like, I mean, we got to be honest, man. A lot of times they kind of gloss over the sorriness of a lot of us, you know, in films. They don't really play that up, and for a lot of good reasons. But this is the first time I really saw like a sorry, like really, like this dude is legit sorry, and made a whole movie about it, and tried to show what that life was like, man. I had
an uncle who used to say the same thing about another great LA character, Lamont Sanford. And I was about 6 or 7. I was like 6 or 7 years old when he'd say, Lamont is just sorry. Okay. And I was like 6. And I was like, what are you talking about, Uncle Gene? Like, he's like, Lamont Sanford is sorry, man. That's how old I am. Okay. And I'm like, what? I'm talking about like it was still tonight on ABC.
First run.
First run or whatever it was. And so I didn't quite understand like what he was talking about. But I think to your point, it had to be a black director.
Yeah,
they had to do that, and a black writer to get us there, and Tyrese acted the hell out of that. But I want to say this, Reese, you mentioned that about the abortion. Obviously, it flew right over my head. Flew right over my head. And then, but having said that, he was the child being aborted. And I don't say abortion like lightly, like it's just another word, so that's. There's a lot of trauma at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And so I thought had this film, and with all due respect, had this film stayed on that level, quoting Francis Cross Wrestling from the beginning of the film, because let's be honest, 99% of the people that watched that, they didn't know who the hell she was. Okay. And so I didn't know what that was. So my first course at Howard. And then I was assigned a book by her. But so I got to college and then I knew who that was. But I'm just saying, if that movie had stayed like on that plane about talking about the systemic issues, about talking about why things were stunted and whatever's blocking growth or why he's pulling Yvette down, I think you have another film, you have another kind of amazing work that comes out of Singleton. Even though I still think this is still one of his most compelling stories, regardless of that. So I'm at a. I wish it had dig deeper on that, so we got a better understanding of, well, why do you think he can't break out of this? You know, and then she got a whole apartment and a son that she's raising. She don't need you. She's not. The rent was never an issue with the rent. It was just, are you loud? You know, you cause a commotion. So I don't. I'm just curious. I'm curious about how much better it could have been had they followed those tropes that you just brought up right there. Like, you know, he's sorry, but why? But why? Why is he sorry?
Yeah, I mean, they gave you some hints to it when he talks about, you know, and I think you talked about it, Joe. We talked about trauma. We talked about his brother getting killed and him kind of being stuck in that.
Yeah.
She hints to it when she talks about his father. Your father was a thug, you know. Sweet Pea talks about even them going to no family, but going to continuation school.
Yeah.
And I had to look that up. Sometimes I feel, you know, out of touch with, you know, the people. People, because I'm like, put on my ascot and my monocle, like, continuation school. What is that? To the Googles, and found out what that was, and you know them, and for one scene, he's trying to sell weed, and it was the worst. Hey, you want some weed? Okay, that was it.
Awful.
That was it. Like, okay, You know, so you kind of talk about they kind of talk about or hint at all the things that were going on in his life, and then he talked about like his mom never leaving home.
Yeah.
Um, so it's kind of like a cycle of things,
Yeah.
you know, just happening,
Generational curses.
generational curses, you know, and you know him having to deal with that and kind of wanting more, but being trapped in that space where you can't see anymore
Yeah.
because
Not
this is
knowing how to
all I
get
have.
more. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is all that's around me. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm doing the best I can
Yeah.
with the tools I've been given.
Yeah.
Um, and some days, you know, I achieve, and some days, you know, I eat tacos.
Yeah.
If we're
Right.
lucky, if we're lucky.
If we're lucky, man. Hey, look, I mean, so the struggle is real, man. And I think one of the things that I appreciated about the movie, especially in my 20s, was that, you know, for better or worse, I knew people in this film that I could relate to. I knew that we're like very similar to people in my life, very similar to people I knew, you know, good, bad, and ugly. And I love these characters. I really do. Like I'm not, you know, I'm not mad about it. I thought that John Singleton really, much like he did in Boys in the Hood, had a real sense of what people were like, what conversations are like, what a real argument is like. You know, as toxic as that argument was between Jody and Yvette in the aftermath of it, that's real. I you know, dare I say, I've been a part of that wild swing from one to the other. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's real trauma in this film, and some of that is we talk about it as a comedy, but when it gets real, it gets real quick. You know what I mean? Like Rodney tries to rape Yvette in front of her son. Like that's ain't shit funny about that. Like that's not funny at all. Um,
And the
and
pervasive string of domestic violence, like
right, exactly.
everybody was gonna get, you know, whooped
The
at some point.
the threat of
At some point.
violence is there every moment.
Always.
From a literal butt whipping to from Sweet Pea to do from Sweet Pea to Looney Tunes, you know, Melvin giving Jody a butt whooping, you know what I mean? Like Jody hitting Yvette, like
Yvette's girlfriend's eye.
Yvette's girlfriend's eyes. This
Yeah.
violence all in and through the movie. As a matter of fact, I would venture to say that as thug as he was, Sweet Pea was probably the only one that probably didn't lay hands on his lady. I don't think he threatened violence against his lady anyway.
He
He
did.
didn't.
Did
Yes,
he?
he did.
When did
When?
he?
Yes, he did. He said right before Jody walks in,
Uh-huh.
he said, "I'm gonna come in there and break my foot off," and then Jody walks in.
Yeah, he did say that. Yep.
So there you go.
He was standing up, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He was
There you
standing, we had a controller in his hand. He was
Yeah.
still here for
Yeah.
the 64, N64.
That's
Yeah,
right.
he wa-
That's right. That's right. Well, violence is it's pervasive, and you know, I mean, like, and that's
in
crazy.
front of her mother.
In front of her mother, and the
She's
thing,
snapping peas. Yeah.
the thing I also want to mention about this movie, and what a tragedy in terms of black males is that how much we have to learn through trauma, like how Jody really only progressed in this movie through real trauma, be it him getting knocked the F out by Melvin, or you know him almost being shot. You know what I mean? Like trauma was the only thing to knock him out of his comfort zone. And for so many young black males, that seems to be the case, that like trauma is the only thing we have to trigger us to grow in a lot of senses. You know, whether it's trauma from an academic standpoint, like for me, you know, I had to fail to succeed. You know what I mean? And I just wonder why that is for a lot of
Well,
us.
I would say this: when he during the drive-by, when he realized he didn't get shot, he's on the ground. He pounds the ground.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like there was a death wish in my mind. There was a death wish at that very moment. He pounds the ground like I haven't felt anything. But let me know what you think. And maybe that's the dream sequence. I don't know. But I saw him hit the ground, and I don't know why. I wrote down one question for y'all. What was that?
I think my theory in that one was, so he pulls up, he thinks it's Yvette. He looks in the car and he's smiling, oh, she playing. And when that window drops and he sees who it is,
Okay.
he immediately, you know, excuse my French, he bitches up. And it's just like, he's got nothing. He's got nothing.
Literally nothing. No,
nothing.
Literally nothing. Yeah.
And his reaction was, oh my God. And then when he shoots and he dives on the ground, my estimation, that was my reaction. I'm ashamed of my reaction. I couldn't respond the way
I got you.
A man would have responded.
I can dig that.
I dove on the ground like a punk, and my boy had to come off the porch dumping. And
going.
Yeah.
Man, bus.
Man, he was letting off.
Yes.
Yeah. And I want to say the sound quality right then of Sweet Pea's gun, it was just every time I hear it, I'm like, whoo, he's shooting. So I think that his reaction was, in a chess game of being in the hood and the bravado of being a man and being a thug, and he tried to be so hard.
Mm-hmm.
He got jumped by some little cats. They took his Alizé. And the funny thing is, they only wanted the Alizé because they gave his bike back, and one of the cats took his book bag. But in the next scene, he has it back. So they must have dumped the book bag over there. They just wanted, they beat him up for the Alizé. And so I think he was just frustrated. Like, this whole movie is about him trying to attain the brass ring of being a man. Yeah. And he was just failing. Like, he had to go to Sweet Pea's house to try to get his liquor back. And now here's Sweet Pea saving him again. And it's just like, they know. He knows that they know he's a punk. Like, they rode over there, dumped on him. He dove on the ground. He didn't even return fire. His boy had to do it. And, he
had to be taught how to do the one hit a quitter even. Like, even in that moment. Yeah.
And so they know, right in that scene, they know we can do whatever we want to him. Yeah. Because we don't bust back. He didn't even reach like he had a pistol.
Yeah. Right.
So he's just bad. Like, everybody in that scene, everybody who was outside at that moment knows what he about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was wondered on the drive-by, and then they go back and they kill, I'm sorry, Rodney. There was no retaliation.
Yeah. I thought about that too.
Well, I wrote that one down too. Like, I want to ask you all.
Even in Boys in the Hood, there was retaliation against Doughboy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's why I felt like I highlighted Sweet Pea as the hero, because he was ride or die. Yeah. Goldie Loke and the East Side, they would not ride or die. They would not ride. They were like, oh, you got smoke? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well. They got their first day out.
Yeah, hey. Or what they realized is, they killers.
Yeah.
Maybe like maybe we should they particularly what, like blocks away from Yvette's place, within the neighborhood of Yvette's, so it's clear who shot you. Right. So let me ask you all this, unless you got one brewing, Calvin.
No, go for it.
Because you all are the experts on this film. So let me ask you all this: how did he grow up by not killing and realizing he's not a killer?
I think that there's something to that. I think Melvin basically broke it down to him. I mean, in the sense that when he took the gun out of his hand, and
give me the motherfucking gun, Trey. It's
the parallel. It's a parallel to that scene, right? I think that he did realize that he's not built for that life. He's not made for that life, and that he needed to come true with his lady that he's building a life with. You know what I mean? And kind of come to grips with who he was and what he was. You know what I mean? Like, I think that was that come to Jesus moment for him. And so, to answer your question, that's my thoughts on it. Yeah. What do you think, Reese?
I agree with you. I think that I call it a sneak peek moment, where you are at a pick a path, where you can go either way, and you get a glimpse what's down the other path. I can say I had it. Yeah. After my first semester at Morehouse, they were like, "Hey, buddy, why don't you hold this academic probation?" I was like, I can't go back to Inglewood, Chicago. That's not possible. So I got a little peek, and I'm like, okay, I need to go this way. Yeah. And once you get a peek at this is how it could be. Yeah. And that was the flashback scene that he had where Rodney is on the ground and he's like, "Shoot me, go ahead." And he sees himself. Yeah. And he's like, yo, just like as easily as this happened to this cat,
It could happen to me.
it could happen to me.
Yep.
And he was like, no. And he tried to stop Sweet Pea
Yeah.
from finishing that deed, but
No.
Sweet Pea was like, nah.
He's just gonna keep coming. He's just gonna keep coming back though, and that wasn't gonna stop.
Yeah, you don't need a Benny Blanco. He's
Yeah.
Rodney. Rodney was gonna come back for sure.
Did I not learn anything from Richie Aprile?
Yes. So
that was for you. That's for you. Little Sopranos. Let me drop a Little Sopranos.
I'm on. I've started. I'm doing something unprecedented. I'm doing a simultaneous 2 shows at once. I'm about to add a 3rd show, as we'll talk about a little later.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm doing Breaking Bad, and I'm on season 5 of Breaking Bad. And
what else are you watching right now?
Sopranos.
What's the 3rd show?
The one we're gonna talk about at the end of the show.
Oh, okay.
That we're doing next.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm on Veep right now. I keeping it light. The work is. Yeah, I'm keeping it real light right now.
Yeah.
and Selena just became president. Okay, it's the end of season 3, episode 10. I'm on it right now.
Nice.
Some of the best writing you'll ever see in your life.
Ever.
So another contribution Reese has made to the discussion is our favorite scene. This is gonna be a new.
Thank
Reese.
you. It's like we should get sponsored by
Surly Shirts.
Surly Shirts brings you our favorite scene.
Our favorite scene. Yes, exactly. I think that's actually what we're gonna do with it.
I appreciate that.
I'm down.
So the Surly Shirts favorite scene. What was your favorite scene in the movie, Reese?
Oh, hands down, without a doubt, the scene that holds up over time. Melvin choking out Jody. Jody? So I see when I look at you, a scared little chocolate bitch. And when he licks his head, I'm like, whoa. He said,
He took it all the way.
If we on the yard, I make you get on your knees and work it out. I was like, wait, whoa. Like I'm in my living room clutching my pearls, like, whoa.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He said, scream for your mama. Scream for your mama.
My favorite part of that scene is when after Juanita comes in and asks him to go to the store for him, he asks Jody, like nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Yeah. So
of course not.
And I'm not ashamed to say I've caught my daughter, gave it a little light choke out, like, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, scream for your mama. She's like, what are you doing for her? You're not acting out the scene right, child.
I can't wait till your daughter sees this movie for the first time, Reese. Like,
she's gonna be like,
so many things are gonna make so much sense to her.
Right. But yeah, that scene I think holds up over time. It's comedy. It's a point where he lets Jody know, like, I could, hey, you're not in control.
Right.
You're not in control.
I've been letting you get away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you talking sporty, but if it comes down to it, this is what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And the slap on the back of the head at the end, like that's the cherry on top.
Yeah.
What y'all in here doing? Melvin breathing heavy.
Playing it off because he been in jail. He know how to go from 0 to 60, man. Yeah.
Here come the CO.
Right. Joe, because you're a little bit like your view is different than our view. So,
I'm very fresh. It's very fresh. It kind of reminds me. Actually, it kind of reminds me of. So I was raised. I became a Mason on October 15, 2002, and St. James Lodge number 3 on Auburn Avenue, where a lot of men became Masons in that very room. And then the next day I hit the yard, all the Masons learned that I was a Mason and that I got my 3rd degree. So fresh out, right? So so they want to try me, and I'm like, all right, come try me, please try me with this history, right? I only knew X number of pages of history, but I knew it. I had it down pat.
Right.
And so that's kind of how I feel today, because I'm like, I just seen this, and this is brewing in my head right now. I'm ready to go. But
Neo.
Yeah, very much a Neo. And so it just takes me to this scene, and when they're in the park, and he's like, you got heart, you know what I'm saying? You got heart, and the way they said it's so these guys are probably never going to be in a fraternity.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And in
The way you
PhD,
said that came out of nowhere, like
yeah,
they're probably never going to be in a fraternity.
they're probably never gonna be in a Greek letter. The characters are probably
The
never.
most obvious of obvious statements
Yes,
tonight.
they're probably never gonna be in a fraternity, right? Then they're probably never gonna be in a fraternity, right?
Probably.
So you know, being lined up,
Yeah. In the cut.
and having some hands laid on or something meted out in a ritualistic way. This is how this happens for you.
Yeah.
And I remember being in Washington Park one time. Shout out to Washington Park.
Shout out to Washington Park.
And there were some guys from the neighborhood, probably on a cutlass or two over from where I was sitting, with a big bottle of Christian Brothers. That's just death, by the way. Christian Brothers. Ooh. And they saw GK, so that's the Clark Atlanta campus.
Yeah.
And they saw the freshly minted Pi chapter. It was Spring 01.
Mm-hmm.
And they were everybody was twirling, and then the Morris Brown campus was everybody was twirling, right?
Yeah.
And so they said, "Man, what the hell are they doing?" You know, they talking smack, like, "What is that? What is that?" And then one of them was like, "Man, shut up! You know you want to do that shit too, right?" It's the exact same thing, right? Yeah. And so I'm thinking of this mentality. I'm getting there. I'm landing this plane. I'm thinking of this mentality, like, it's not gonna happen. So this is like their only version of happening.
Yeah.
Of this happening. So when he says, "Do you have heart?" You have some heart. This guy got heart, right? Okay. Yeah. So then I'm not gonna punch you. At first I thought they were gonna shoot him. Like, they don't shoot this kid. I knew it's something else that happens.
Yeah.
They're gonna hit him with the belt.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of the whole movie. He hits him with the belt, and then he keeps going.
Yeah. Then he goes too far with it, and then because Jody kind of is laughing, and then he kind of hold on.
Like I had some love. Jody has experienced love.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think Sweet Pea hadn't experienced that kind of love like that, and so. But he's probably got beaten like that, and it kind of reminded me of when Smokey was getting Buddy for the trash can.
The trash can.
We finally got them right. We finally got him. So for me, that's my favorite. My favorite scene is when he brings that belt out.
Yeah. And
he meets out that punishment.
Yeah.
In a ritualistic way, he's punched the rest of them.
Yeah.
Punched the rest of them twice. One guy, and then gets him with the belt. The other.
My jaw already hurt, cuz.
Like, and this is a code. And we know one day we too will do this to somebody.
Yeah.
That's a whole other level.
Yeah. It's crazy how those things happen, even if it's not gonna really happen for you, it still happens. Yeah. So for me, my favorite scene, enduring. And I was hoping that it wouldn't be the case, because I was looking for something new to love about the movie, but this is my favorite enduring scene is when Rodney calls from jail. When Rodney calls the phone from jail, and the first time Jody hangs up, he's like, "You accept the call, accept the charges from prison?" He's like, "Hell no," hangs up. And then he calls back and he answers the phone. He's like, "Who is this, Jody? The Jody that got my girl pregnant? The one that still live at home with your mom, ain't man enough to live up to your responsibilities? Nigga, you's a bitch." And then Jody comes back at him and he's like, "When you in prison, what you gonna tell me? Concentrate on not dropping the soap." And then hangs up the phone and breaks into a diatribe against Yvette. "You got this man telling this man my business, talking about, yeah, you still live at home with your moms. I ain't trying to hear that shit." I love it. It's my favorite scene I would dare to say, in any John Singleton movie. I love that scene so much. I love the way that Snoop is coming at him. Like, Snoop is so expressive in his, like, the way he, like, and there's another scene later on in the film where he's like, I know, Reese, you're chomping at the bit. I'll let you go there. But there's another scene where Snoop is so expressive. And Snoop's not in it for long, but man, he chews up that scenery. I love Snoop. I love Calvin Broadus. My name brother, Calvin's. All the Calvins out there. Calvin McAllister. All the Calvins out there. I love Calvin. I love the name Calvin. We all represent greatness. But Snoop is far better rapper than he is an actor.
Oh,
but his expressiveness.
Painful to watch that shit.
His expressiveness though is great. Reese, go there.
That scene that you brought up is the prequel to the scene where Jody comes to pick my second favorite, close second favorite when he comes to pick up his son.
Yeah.
And Goldie Loke answers the door. He's like,
Yeah.
"Who you, Loke?" And he opens the door a little bit more. He's like, "You Jody? You here to pick up your son? Well, pick his ass up. I ain't trying to be his daddy." And so he's like, "Jojo, come here." And then he walks off. And Snoop just gets irate. He's just like, "Man, I can't believe this nigga talk shit to me while I was locked up, cuz. Got my boo pregnant. Get the heat, cuz." And he goes outside. He's like, "Hey, nephew." And he's walking away. He's like, and I hear like one of them say, "This nigga riding a bike, cuz?"
Right.
He's like, "You was talking real tough when I was locked up." Jody doesn't say anything. And
Nothing.
let me tell you, from a person who grew up in a gang environment, if you are outnumbered,
You better not
they
say
are
nothing.
pressing you, don't say anything. Don't, because anything is an end for them to proceed. And my favorite part of that scene, even while I was locked up, but when he says, "Man, full speed ahead on him," I was like, full speed ahead. I've never heard that in an aggressive way. Like, he's on a ship, man, full speed ahead on this guy. It's like,
actually, that's probably his best line, I think.
Yeah, no, it probably is, man. Because the way the timing of it is perfect, man. Whew. I'm telling you, man. I see it in my head, man. With the curls, Snoop had the curls going, man. You know what I mean? Like Rodney was fresh coming out of prison, man. And whew, he was very angry, very angry. So yeah, that's still my favorite scene. And I got to give a shout out real quick to, as I mentioned in the lead up on our previous show, to Dr. Latasha Macaulay Lewis, one of my favorite people on the planet. She's saving young children's lives. She's working in the intensive care unit for the kids in New Orleans. But this is her favorite movie. I know this because we watched this as a group in medical school probably about 5 or 10 times, and she loves the scene where Yvette is saying, "Nah, boo boo, I'm gonna have me a man." And just, like just the whole Yvette dynamic, she really was drawn to and attached to that dynamic for whatever reason. So any scene with Yvette, asserting herself is also, it makes me think of Tasha, and I appreciate those scenes as well. So
I want to say this about Taraji. She for me, she lit up the screen. On several occasions. Every look, I loved it. I loved pretty much every look, except when like Rodney came, but she was just at the home chilling on like a Wednesday, But she's got moments when she's one of the most beautiful women on screen ever. I think in this film, and she just wanted. There's a line in Jerry Maguire. She's like, "I love the man he wants to be, and I love the man he almost is," and I felt like that's where she was still yearning for that, or those times on the couch and whatever that stuff. And we all know it. We all know what that means and what that all that. And in many cases, when you're 20, you're selling potential. You're not. You're not a fully formed anything.
Sure.
And so you're selling potential in and of itself. And so
you're a young IPO, as it were.
You ground floor. You just get the ground floor on that IPO. But I thought she was great when she's walking down the street and ain't got her car and sticking whatever little stuff she got out there and walking down the street.
Walking like Sophia in Color Purple. When Sophia's coming to
it might have been an homage. That might have been an homage to Color. You told Harpo. That might have been an homage to Color Purple, yes. But when she goes and does that, I just thought she had so much attitude and she was so angry with him.
When she's showing her tattoo.
Yeah, I got the tat and he got the tat. That I know you see
poor
when
Peanut.
he's over there. Yeah,
Peanut stood up for herself though. I appreciate
she
Peanut.
She did, but he might have been over there the next day for all for all we know.
Probably.
Yeah, for all we know.
But I like the tattoo show. But if you look further in the movie, Melvin is wearing a J chain later on. He's wearing a Juanita.
He was. I saw that J chain when he was. I saw it later. It seemed like when he was taking the gun. That's the first time I noticed it.
Yeah,
he had that J chain on, and it was like, okay, I done put gold on. This is me. This is the tats are for crew.
That's why he had on the Stacey Adams in the hat, and he was trying to earn that J chain.
So that was the breakthrough. Give me the gun.
I think so.
The breakthrough in their relationship.
Yeah.
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 And do you think Melvin told Juanita?
No.
No.
Okay. But she said we all had a talk, so he probably just left it
it
okay.
at that.
Cold.
He got up that night. She noticed him leave.
Mm-hmm.
He went and got the gun, wiped the press down, did whatever, thugs do it, hot guns, and came back to bed and was like, and when in the morning or whenever she was like, "Hey, you got up last night?" Me and Jody had a talk.
Had a little talk,
and that was it.
Stay up, baby boy.
Yeah,
my man Melvin, man. Yeah,
these are my questions. I said if anybody knows, these guys know. So I'm literally curious. Okay,
that was it. And like what Reese said, seeing his face, his visage on Snoop's face in that very moment, realizing how precariously close he came to that fork in the road,
and then realizing all this dude was really he's into my mom. Yeah, he thinks I'm spoiled. But he just might have something he can share with me. It's
like what Melvin said. He had that Oedipus complex. He was like, you want your mama to be your woman, but she's my woman.
Now I want to say this. I want to say this too about the scene. He went from 0 to 90.
Oh yeah,
in 0.3 seconds, which of course is very believable and real. I thought, and I want to say, I thought he was overacting a bit.
Nah, man.
but he knew he could kill him easily. Yeah.
You want a nigga that got 2 strikes on him.
And he's saying all that. It's so much dialogue he's saying while all the other action's going on, and while Tyrese is yelling too. I was like, man, this is intense. I had to go back. I had to rewind and watch that and put the captions on too, and say, golly, what he is saying a lot. He is talking a lot of stuff right here in this scene. So I thought that was very intense.
There's a clear buildup in this film. There's a moment when Sweepy and Jody in the bedroom talking, and he's like, I hear you. There's that moment. That's strike one.
yeah.
There's the headlock. And then there's
2-0.
Left him hanging with the fist bump.
Yeah. And he told him, he's like, why every time we come out here, you always trying to, he tried to fist bump him for the TV to tell him, he set up the TV for his mom. They had the gardening scene before the weed was found, where they every time he's like, I'm trying to, do right. I'm trying to talk to him. Every time I come out, we got to stop doing this. Breakfast. Right. Offered him breakfast. So how many times it's like in The Sopranos when Tony offers Ralph the drink and Ralph turns it down. Maybe next time. You know what I mean? How many times you got to deal with these indiscretions with him, man?
Yeah, I and the beauty of although it's probably lost on a lot of people, Singleton, and to his credit, the garden grows.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So you get a better understanding of how long this has been going on, because the garden's grown and she's able to she's got a harvest. I guess in a sense. Yeah. And so when he says why every time, because she got her son working out in the garden, I had to pull weeds. I had to do that. Oh yeah. And so I know that's real. That's work.
Yes.
But she's got her son out there, and that's good time with his mom. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, this is the man of the house now. He lives here too, so he's he's basically in my mind, he's trying to have the family a family. Like what Sweet Pea is saying, he's trying to have a family, and I think maybe Melvin is in his own way too, but only if this boy acts right. Right. Only if this boy acts right.
And that plays on his fears, like Reese alluded to earlier, with his brother being kicked out. Yeah. And he doesn't want that to happen with him. No. That's his trigger. That's what he thinks is, even at the end when he does mention, he's like, I didn't die like I thought I would, you know what I mean? I'm still here, but that was another awakening moment for him, was that he could be okay out of the nest and be fine. He wasn't going to end up like his brother Ray Ray. You know what I mean? He was going to be okay.
But he did keep mentioning, I thought that, he's like, well, he had history on his side talking about men that Juanita had been involved with. Yeah. And that was a real concern. That was a real concern.
And Melvin's history with his own kids. He confronted him with it. He's like, he said you used to beat his mom. He used to, he's a dirty dude apparently in the old days. He's like, I don't get along with my baby mamas, and I'm sure you can relate. He said to him, he's like, no, I can't.
No, I can't relate.
He's like, I get along fine with mine too. He's like, well, we'll see how long that
now. Yeah, now.
But I think that all those things together, you know, they culminate in that final moment. You agree, Reese? You think
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I
Yeah,
think that it all blends together nicely at the end.
yeah.
He's
Let the liquor tell it.
Let the liquor tell it. That was all blends perfectly.
yeah, he's looked down that way,
Yeah,
and I think he's come to find out through dealing with Yvette and Rodney in that sense that you know I can't really judge Melvin. Like
yeah,
he's been through some stuff.
yeah,
I'm now going through it. It was because I like to say that up until Rodney came back in the picture, life was sweet for Jody.
yeah,
He
yeah,
dropped Yvette off. He take her car. He go to Peanut.
yeah,
She makes some food, break him off a little bit.
yeah.
He hang out with
Sweet pea.
Sweet Pea. They
Yeah,
go
yeah.
they go to the strip club. Strippers ain't at work yet. You know, play a little domino. He
Yeah,
go
man.
get an Alizé a day.
Alizé a day,
Think
man.
about that. You're not working, but you have money for an Alizé a day habit
And the strip club.
and a strip club, private room, private
With
Yeah.
day,
with the light skinned girl dancing on you.
all
You
nasty.
know how many dicks she sucked? Let me smell
so
your dick.
so I think
She's so down. She's so down.
so down.
I'm
So
sorry.
up
I'm
until
sorry.
that
I just,
point,
I'm sorry.
up until that point, it's all good.
Yeah,
And then he starts, really having a tough time of it.
Yeah.
And so at the end, it's kind of like, okay, look,
yeah,
I had some rough times and some people looked out for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about where this. Well, before we get into that, nitpicks. We have a few, I'm sure.
Snoop is mine.
Snoop is yours. Let's talk about. So I finally get to gripe about Omar Gooding for just.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear this.
I think that he is going a little too hard. That's my thing. Like, I think that he is like, just, I'm tired. I don't want to get to heaven and God say, turn your ass around. Like, I wouldn't buying those tickets that he was selling for that. And I think a big part of it is because I got two formative Omar Gooding memories growing up. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. He was in Hanging with Mr. Cooper. He was a nice little jolly little fellow in that. But moreover, Wild and Crazy Kids. Omar from Wild and Crazy Kids on Nickelodeon, man. Like I see him every time I see Omar Gooding. I just can't get over that. And I know that's probably a me thing. Because he played, now that hearing y'all talk about it, he played the hell out of the part. I can't be too much of a hater. But I always see that guy. And Cuba's brother to boot. I have my established problems with Cuba in Boys in the Hood as well. So maybe it's a familiar thing. I'm always willing to entertain the fact that I could just be a hater, and that's perfectly fine by me as well. But
Own it.
Yeah, man. I wasn't buying Sweep Key all the way. Like as hard as it reminded me of quite a bit of like my feelings about how Dr. Dre had himself portrayed in Straight Outta Compton. And that, like, I mean, because Dre has himself playing basically a straight up gangster. You know what I mean? But all evidence indicates
to the contrary.
From the world class wrecking crew to his only legitimate fight that we know of being with D Barnes. You know what I mean? Like Dre ain't hard. You know what I mean? And I kind of get that vibe from Sweet Pea, but that's just me. So
you get that vibe from Omar.
From Omar, correct? Not Sweet Pea. From Omar.
I got you. I understand.
So, that's that. Again, I'm willing to own. I mean, everybody's not the killer experience is not for everybody. I have my detractors out there. I'm sure they'll say, "Well, he's a hater. He just been a hater." So, it is what it is.
Do you have any nitpicks in the movie, Reese?
I think for me, the nitpicks had to be there were certain scenes where, for me, it got too preachy. Like they would stop everything and have a speech.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Jody talks about P, look around, what do you see? Yeah, people moving and people standing still.
Yeah.
And, all the people that are moving are sellers. All the people that are standing still are buyers.
Yeah.
Standing still being broke.
Yeah.
You had that one. You had when AJ goes into "You're in love with a man," and it's kind of like all of them have like titles. A man can make you feel high, sometimes so high, but then he can make you feel low. And so she has that speech. Then Melvin has the guns and butter and guns.
Yeah.
And then I think you touched on one where he's talking about getting into the gates of heaven. I want to be baptized.
Yeah.
And so it's all these little stops have these speeches. I'm like it didn't flow into the rhythm of the movie. It was a complete stop. Let's make this point, and now we're going to resume.
Yeah,
I think Singleton was trying to do far too much. I think the way I just heard that, and the way I having just watched it, and it's so top of mind right now. To your point, we're going, and then boom, we got to go to this. Like, oh gosh, here we go.
Yeah.
And anytime we're in the garden, it's going to be one of those scenes or one of those talks.
Yeah.
Which is growth, right? The garden represents growth. The garden we're tilling the soul. We're pulling the weeds. We're getting the things out that are going to hurt. Yes,
all on the nose.
I get it. What the Wayans brothers say, foreshadowing, right? When they made fun message, right? So actually, it was Jamal Doe said foreshadowing. They say message, but the point being, like I get all that, but to your point, man, we rolling. I'm not trying to stop halfway through and talk about the meaning of life. Yeah. Although it is realistic that a 20-year-old black man out there in LA might, fall into Islam, might fall into reading one chapter of the ISIS papers and then be just down, know everything, there is to know. And so you never know what's going to set somebody on a path. But to your point,
it just needed to be smoother.
Yeah. Or maybe 2 or 3 less of those.
Yeah. I mean, we went to Morehouse, man. So, I'm not going to say that I did not have a moment in on the 4th floor of Du Bois Hall in the hallway at 1 o'clock in the morning, talking about something I learned in Lester Rodney's class or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when I say fall into Islam, I'm saying like they were, you hear about it, you read about it, and then you become instantly captivated by it. I have friends at Howard freshman year. Boys went from thugs to I'm talking about this 93 Nation of Islam, like Nation of Islam, selling by design, like Khalid Muhammad, Nation of Islam. Okay, selling Final Call, selling Muhammad's speech, and so
20-year-olds will wax poetic.
Are very and they're very, very impressionable with that. Yeah. So I get it. Yeah. I definitely get it.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, you about to ask where does it rank? I'm gonna get mine out of the way because it's not gonna be nearly as profound as you all's. I think I'm gonna just look at Singleton films. Okay. So Boys in the Hood. I mean, he was up for Best Director.
Yeah.
It's 25.
Pinnacle.
I mean, it's only I mean, you can't. It's very tough. First movie. Sorry. Yeah. So Boys in the Hood's number 1. I'm hard pressed for number 2. I don't know where I put number 2, but I would put this probably at 3 at least. I'm sure I could slide something a little more enjoyable to watch like Shaft for me. Probably at the 2 spot, and I have not seen Fast 2. I've not seen any of the Fasts. Yeah, I know. Not a 1. Not a 1. Just never appealed to me, Calvin. So don't write it down. Don't write it down.
Write it down.
It's popcorn fare. You know what I mean? But it's the highest popcorn fare.
We got passes to see all of them. And when they did Tokyo Drift, I remember somebody being like, "What the fuck?" No.
I will stand up as saying I enjoyed Tokyo Drift.
Stand for Tokyo Drift.
I can't even say. I'm not even dissing it. I'm just saying what we were saying back in school. I haven't seen it.
Hey, Bow Wow. Hey, as the only black kid, what were they? Japan.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bow, man. So I know like the whole thing of plugging other podcasts is real cliche, but I'm gonna do it for just a second, please, because I love Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay's Higher Learning. I listen to it religiously, and they interviewed young Bow Wow, Lil Bow Wow, Shad Moss the other day, and man, the world he lives in is different from the world we live in. Totally. But to your point, Reese, Tokyo Drift, it's not a bad movie.
That man has seen it all.
It did not fit within the scope of Fast and Furious. They tried to do something different.
It was the third one. It was the third one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the third one. So it's the Fast and the Furious, Fast Too Fast Too Furious. My man Luda.
And then Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift, and then they did The Fast and The Furious. Like, so the first one was Fast and Furious. I think was 4, something like that. Then Fast 5, then so on and so forth.
And then Hobbs and how many?
Hey,
how many?
Hobbs and Shaw. You could legit just watch Hobbs and Shaw on its own.
I'm not dissing them. I'm just saying. I just.
Idris Elba puts in some work in that movie.
I did see Gone in 60 Seconds. I did see Gone in 60
Oh,
Seconds.
you saw the work. So yeah, you went down. Like, it's sort of like
we got to pass. We got to pass and Moon Tiger.
Armageddon or Deep Impact. You know what I mean? Like you saw the Deep Impact. Like,
I saw Gone in 60 Seconds. I did see that.
It's okay. It's okay, Joe. It's not too late. They got the
Oh no, I know. It's the whole pack. I can do it. But I was gonna say, hey, it was very enjoyable. This is an enjoyable film. I already said Omar Gooding.
Omar Gooding for everything.
Outstanding. Ving Rhames showed true range, I think, in this film as well.
Yeah.
And so Holiday Heart will still always be number one. Number one for me.
Look, people
number one for me.
Holiday Heart is a well-made, very good movie. No cap. Like, I love Holiday.
What's the opposite of a BT Arabesque Christmas movie? Is there a BT Arabesque? If there was a BT
it's the best case scenario of BT Arabesque. It's the best of what a BT Arabesque movie can be.
I remember watching it 10 minutes in. I'm like, what am I? Is that's Ving Rhames? Like, why is he? And then I just finished it. I had to keep going. To get to the end of this journey.
Yeah.
But where does it rank for you, Calvin?
For me, all right. So I wanted to look at it in terms of like hood movies. So for hood movies, like it's not, obviously, again, it gets beat by the other John Singleton movie, gets beat by Menace to Society, but for me, it's number 3 in terms of hood movies. The realism of it is what got it for me. So it's better than like I don't know, another hood movie that I want to mention, like South Central, right? Exactly. It's better than those. And all love to OG Bobby Johnson, Deuce here, all that. I get it, but better than Dope, and I love Dope. Better than The Wood, and we were on record about The Wood.
That's very light fare in comparison.
So there's hood movies, and then like as far as I guess I want to think about my Taraji movies, and it's still my favorite Taraji movie, and I enjoyed. I can't remember for the life of me the name of the one with Idris Elba in it. That I enjoyed a bit, where he was like basically stalking her, came back and that one, and there's the Benjamin Button, which hey, David Fincher makes great movies. That's not one of his best. So.
I was happy for it, but I truly didn't get it. I didn't understand that one. I didn't understand any of that at all. So
I still come back to Baby Boy for Taraji. So it's my favorite Taraji movie. And I can't say it's my favorite Tyrese movie because of my love for the Fast and Furious movie. I'm dead serious, man. Like Roman.
I didn't know you had a favorite Tyrese movie.
Roman in Fast and Furious. Integral guy, like in his dynamic.
No, I believe, bro. I believe, obviously, man's he'll always be fine because of those movies.
He's eating.
Yes.
He's
always be fine because of those movies.
Yeah.
Y'all want to do another one? Where? When
he's always the first one on board. He'll squash his beef with The Rock to get some of that money.
That's why he beefed with The Rock.
Yeah.
He was mad because The Rock said, "I'm not doing any more of these. I'm going to go do something else." And
hey,
Tyrese was like, "This the gravy train. What are you doing? You're taking food out of my mouth."
All right, actively. Reese, where does it rank for you, man?
So I'm going to use a different metric.
Okay.
I'm just going to talk about my favorite, rewatchable Black movies.
Okay.
And
love it.
For me, it probably ranks 4th.
Okay. Oh man,
wow.
I need to know.
Wow, I'm curious about these other 3.
I'm not the movie aficionado that you all are. I like what I like. I watch what I watch, and that's it.
So do we.
And sometimes I'm a random hater for no reason.
Okay.
So do we.
But above it, I would say if it's on and I'm gonna sit down and watch it, no matter what part is, Harlem Nights,
okay,
Boomerang,
House
Party, and there was one more I want to say that I'm missing, but it's 4 or 5. If it's on, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing.
It's very likely to be on. It might be on right now.
Yeah,
one of those movies is on.
Yeah,
or at least 2 of them are on demand. It's February. It's February too.
Yeah,
Coming to America is on everywhere right now.
oh my gosh.
yeah. And I'm not the biggest Coming to America fan. Like, I've watched it. I know all the scenes and lines.
Well,
but
I'm literally buying a Pride of Zamunda shirt right now to wear for my viewing. It's literally in my cart right now.
All right.
So yeah, I'm getting a next level 3600 though, because so a little softer.
That's a man who's been reading.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Every opportunity I had to get the next level, I'm getting the next level 36. I was so happy when that became an option on Surly shirts.
Hey, shout out to Lindsay Hunter, Whitney Young's finest.
Yes.
Young
Lindsay.
Shout
out to Lindsay.
She's integral in that happening.
Thank you, Lindsay.
It goes back to, actually, it's part of kind of when Juanita tells Jody about how the material feels against your body.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even mention Monique. I gotta mention Monique real quick, because Monique, she was in that same scene.
She was.
And that brief moment.
Did a day on set.
She did a day on set, and my mom's got her friends that come over and give some sage advice. Aunt Valet, I love you, Aunt Valet. Like, that's my favorite. Well, no shade to Aunt Lynette and the other aunts.
Don't diss the other aunts. Boy,
Sorry.
what you doing?
Sorry, but that moment definitely was like, Aunt Donna Turk definitely like they will come with the knowledge for you. So Monique, man,
Did you have any other?
Shout out to them, because they I think they played every stereotypical black game in this movie. They were playing backgammon. Jody and Yvette were playing spades at the end. They played bones.
Yep. Did they play Uno?
They did not play Uno.
No, not Uno.
Somebody would have died.
Yeah.
Somebody would have died.
House rules need to be clearly established. I would have loved to seen a Uno with Jody and Yvette, and then P and his girl. I can't remember his girl's name, but that would have been interesting.
Kim.
And
The great Angel Conwell.
Yes, the fullness thereof. So to have them play Uno or Trouble.
Oh, hey, let me think. The three collective minds here. Can you recall Uno being played in a movie ever? Like, beyond maybe a BT Airbest movie? Because I can't say that somebody probably was like, let's play Uno and win it. I don't recall. Somebody will die. Uno is dangerous. This is the most dangerous. I learned playing Uno at the Campbellton Road YMCA. Summer of 1988. I learned the finer points of Uno, and I barely made it out, man. I mean, there were some fights, like vicious fights, around Uno and stacking cards. You can't stack the cards.
Can't. Well, it depends on where you are.
So they didn't play. I think we would have saw an additional murder or two. But you're right, Reese. They did run the gamut of hood games, and especially like dominoes wasn't really super duper big in the South like it is in the West Coast. Like when I made friends with my boy OJ, he was like, "Oh yeah, bones." Like I was like, I mean, we more spades and bid whist. I mean, we didn't play a whole lot of dominoes, but I certainly learned at Morehouse my first year. Like
my first, I was in 8th grade. Went away to a Jack and Jill conference, and the guys, 1989, and these guys, and they brought their dominoes. We were same age, 14 years old, and these guys had the domino page. Like, oh, we on these bones. I said, these bones? What? I was a spades player. I played spades. I was like, okay, I play spades now. We on these bones. So I was like, man, okay, well, Joe's gonna sit out, because I don't know what y'all, because they were moving fast. And going like, I tell you, well, this is something I stack dominoes up and knock them down. That's what I did with my dominoes.
I taught my daughter to play dominoes last month.
Okay, well that's
get her off them rock collecting. Get her
She's off that. She's been off that.
Hey, that's Yeah, man. That's hilarious, man. So look, man.
Yeah, shout out. That's a great pull, Reese. I mean, those three games, backgammon.
This is what Reese brings, guys. This is what Reese brings to the table. I don't know how we're gonna do the review tomorrow because, like, you.
No, he's gonna watch him himself and he's gonna review what happened. I thought about it at the beginning. We were saying it. I was like, well, now I'm saying it. So this is what I see. That's how I see it. But
yeah, man, this is everything I thought it was gonna be. You know, and one of the other things Reese told us, you know, I'm self-aware. I'm fully aware. We're going longer and longer as time goes on. We are, you know, we got these tabs. We got so many tabs open now. We gotta, you know, I mean, we gotta go there.
If we just stuck with the film, it'd probably be a 42 minute.
Probably 42
minutes.
You know what I mean? I looked at it. Scrooged was our shortest. I felt bad because that's yours. That's your movie, man. But
I'm
like,
good. I'm good.
You know,
Bill Murray. That was the Bill Murray. It was the first Bill Murray. We've gone successively. They've got a little longer at each Bill Murray iteration.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but they got a little longer each time.
Reese, this is man. I love having you here, man. And
thank you so much.
You're gonna be back, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I appreciate that. I want to get it out there. Another segment you did not do. Do you relate to any characters in the movie?
He started down that road. I want to say that I think anybody who's you mentioned a crossroad, Reese, and I think that anybody who lives, even the most together cats, have a crossroad at some point. Yeah. It's probably better if it's at 20 than at 30. Or at 40 or at 50 or some point or some point
going on 50 or 42
whatever, but I think that I know I relate to crossroads situations in school, outside of school, low points, high points, all that. Then the relationship stuff. Are you being toxic in the is what you I hate using I'm sorry for using toxic. I just saw Malcolm and Marie, shout out. We might do that one day, Calvin. But okay. Shout out to our brother John David Washington. But I think Jody's, like, we're waiting for you to be a man, that thing.
Yeah.
That's extremely relatable.
Yeah. I too, you know, I mean, I might currently be going through some Jody moments, who knows. We all, and this is why I can't be too hard on Jody or any of the characters in the movie for that matter, because, you know, they are human, and the human aspects of them, you know, I mean, we can try to, you know, dog them out if we want to, but none of us are above having a Jody moment, having an Yvette moment, and I'm, you know, I've had my fair share of Jody moments this week, so
okay,
you know. It is what it is. Jody's definitely relatable, for better or for worse. You know, obviously I don't live in that realm. I hope anyway. You know, but my moments of immaturity, my moments of uncertainty, and bad decision making. Certainly, I've done a few things that I regret, and you know, have been lucky to not have suffered major consequences as a result of them. And to your point, Joe, about the crossroads, being at the precipice of we're at the precipice. I can't remember the line that Lil Carmine said, but the malaprop there. But nonetheless, I've been there. I've got a little bit too much. And in honor of tonight, I've been on the Hennessy Pure White for you know, our movie Baby Boy tonight. You know, I couldn't find the Alizé, but. You know, Jody's my most relatable. I've had some Melvin moments here in my teaching to the medical students, like I mentioned earlier. You know, I definitely will come up with a guns and butter speech for my medical students and think I'm saying something profound, and then the students leave out and like, what the hell is Dr. Smith talking about? Give me the fake laugh and nod, and you know, and then get them to group me or to Slack and say we didn't learn a damn thing from Dr. Smith today. You know, so I can be Melvin too, but mainly Jody. What about you?
I didn't have one until Joe started talking, and he mentioned the humanity of Sweet Pea.
Yeah.
And I would say that I'm most relatable to Sweet Pea for two reasons. When he's selling the dress, and he's kind of like, you know, hey, I'm trying to sell you this dress, and it's nice, and you look better than, you know, Halle Berry or whoever.
Berry, right.
You know, you look better. And she asked him a question, you know, and he immediately gets irate. He gets mad.
Yeah.
That's surly shirts. Like I do not want to answer any questions. Like you see what it is. It's a T-shirt. Like it has a design on it. I get the email. I sit there. I get an email question, and I sit there and I let it sit for. On my site it says, we'll answer within 24 hours. I stretch the whole 24 hours when somebody asks me a question because I'm like, I don't want to answer that. It's a T-shirt. Well, does it shrink? How does it fit? What's the size? What's the? Hey, bruh, like read the website.
It's a T-shirt.
Buy or no, it's a T-shirt. Like
it's a T-shirt.
But I watched Sweet Pea go from, very human and very friendly and very kind and very concerned about Jody to that snap, like I'm angry. Hey, that I have those swings. I too, Calvin, am a Gemini.
That is right. That's why we, look.
Hey. So I can relate to. Yeah. Hey, CMB. So I can relate to one moment being like, hey, let's tool up. Like I had a tool up moment at Morehouse. Like shout out to Derek Cameron. He was he had a problem in Graves Hall. He said, hey, he called me and he literally said, hey, I'm having a problem. Put your Timbs on and come over. And I put my Timbs over and I came over. Everybody that we were having a problem with in that situation, we became good friends. Drew Hubbard, Curtis Brown, so it worked out. But having that moment where you switch, and all my friends can attest, like Reese is gonna go out on a limb for you, but when you make him mad,
you might not want to be a part of that.
It's go time. Like
you're right. Yeah, man. The agony and the ecstasy is what it is with the Geminis. We're great people though. You need Geminis in your life. We keep things together. We the glue. So, man,
thank you.
Man, great episode.
Thank you.
Reese,
thank you. Truly, thank you.
We appreciate you. We love you, man. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
It's not just the shirts, man. It's everything. Surly disposition, all of that. You know what I mean? Like
I want to say this too. When he said it's a T-shirt, I mean, bruh, as a photographer, when I'll be like that, like, what is it? It's a 30-minute shoot. What can I do? It's a 30-minute shoot. Okay. You can buy the hour shoot and probably do a lot of those things that you've just mentioned to me, but it's a 30-minute shoot. If you could change clothes 2 times, 3 times in 30 minutes, it's your 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel you when you look at that thing and I got to talk to somebody 50 times for like the super saver deal, then I already know it's going to be a hassle on the back end too. If it's not a 99.999% exactly what they perceived it was supposed to be from the beginning.
Yeah, they want it back.
Yeah, and I've learned that, and what most people don't know, or maybe they know, is I have a real job,
That was
so I can tell no, like no. Well, I'm not going. You don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm going. You're not buying a shirt is not turning out my lights.
Right. Right.
It's okay.
Right. Right.
Sometimes I make shirts that I know won't sell. Like this is funny to me.
But you're doing it for you. It's for you.
Yeah.
It is your art. It's your art. You're doing it for you.
Yeah. This is funny to me.
I'll skin folk
to go get it. Yeah.
Our motivations are very. Your motivation is totally different than the buyer's motivation.
Thank you for that one.
Yes. Very important. Very important lesson.
But it was a pleasure to be here. I love the show. Listen to it.
Thank you.
I feel like it feels like being back on the yard. Hanging out, listening to people. Just talk about.
That's the best compliment we can get, man.
Nothing.
That's what we're trying to. That's what we're trying to do, man. Hey, look,
trying to bring the yard back.
Yeah, and I was lit afire as soon as Cache mentioned my name. I was like,
yeah,
Cache knows.
Thank you, Cash. Hey, look, so Reese, our next episode, we're going to talk about the quintessential television show. The reason a lot of us are who we are and where we went and what we did. We're going to talk about a different world.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a different world.
We're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm not binging like your ass. I might do season 1, but I'm not binging.
Do season 1. I want you to do season 1 for me because like I being a student of TV history, like my dad bought me this book about like the top 5 TV shows of every decade.
Wow.
And so like there's some things about the way that this show was made, and why we still had it after season 1, because it truly, I mean, we could have not had, even though it was a good lead in, it kept the ratings up. You know what I mean? Like from
William Henry Cosby was very powerful, man.
Sure.
In 1988.
Sure, but the let's just say the source material, it was lacking the first season.
Yeah,
and there's reasons for that. And
yeah. But he had the personnel move. He made the personnel move. He didn't go to HBCU. He didn't go to HBCU.
Right. And neither did Alvin. And you know what I mean? So
yeah, and Poussin did go to HBCU.
You have to get
but they struck lightning, before, and so they're like, oh yeah, well sure, y'all can do it. It's just college.
It's Patrick Mahomes' first year. You know what I mean? You recognize you got something here.
Flashes of brilliance.
Flashes of brilliance.
Are you binging because you own it, or you're on a platform?
It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Amazon Prime.
All 6 seasons are on Prime.
Brother, and without commercials.
Yeah, and you know what, Calvin? They switched it up. I'm not gonna give too much away for next week. They switched it up. The first iteration they had on Prime had deleted scenes.
Oh, yeah, they did.
So scenes that they wouldn't show in syndication, they had in the first, when they first brought it on
I
Prime,
noticed that, yeah.
And then they changed it back, because there's a scene in the episode season 4 midway through called the Goodwill Games, where Dwayne and Whitley inevitably
they playing Honda.
Yeah, play the Honda Campus All-Stars, and she had a date that night. And they cut that whole scene out about her having a date, and it's like a quick jump cut. It's kind of weird, but they cut some of those things out, and so they do that simultaneously throughout the episodes. Which or they'll do this thing beforehand. They'll run a whole scene, and then they'll get into the ding. If you keep watching it,
so they would have some cold opens.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you season 3, there's some cold openings.
I know there was a cold open when Dwayne was dating Suzanne.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Which I don't recall. That was like 1988. Last time I saw that was when we recorded on the tape.
Reese, were you a different world guy?
I saw parts of it here and there. It's funny as you guys are talking about it. I'm thinking about it spanning, but it wasn't necessarily the reason that I went to HBCU.
Okay.
Yeah. I will always give credit where credit is due. Derek Cameron, shout out to DC for the 3rd time. He's my man, 50 grand.
Shout out to DC.
He ran me down in the hallway of Whitney Young and made me fill out the Morehouse application.
Well, thank God for Derek Cameron. Man.
Late.
It was gray. It was gray.
Yes, it was gray. And I didn't want to do it. It was an exorbitant amount at the time to pay for that application.
No fee waivers on that one.
No fee waivers. And they wanted a picture.
Yeah, the picture was the weirdest part. Well, they had to prove you're a man.
I was like, what is this? They are asking too much.
Yeah.
DC was like, please, just turn it in for me.
Yeah.
Literally, he said that at 18, turn it in for me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And it was down here. But the thing that's top of mind for me is one of my brothers who went to Hampton. A lot of us, I'm the oldest of 7. A lot of us went to HBCUs. One of my brothers went to FAM. One of my brothers went to Hampton. My sister went to Philander Smith. Another sister went to UAPB. But one of my sisters is going back to school, and my brother called her Jaleesa Hendrix, and I almost fell out. I was like, "Whoo, that's a deep cut."
But you get it.
Yeah. Yes, immediately. Yeah. Well, so yes, I was. I don't think that I watched it. It wasn't one of those series that I watched. Like, let me run home and watch it. It was like, oh, this is on. Okay, I'm gonna watch. I mean, we lived in an era where it was like you got to catch something on.
Yeah. Like
it ain't no on demand or.
Yeah.
Back when it was one HBO. Remember it was one HBO.
Yeah. Appointment television, like
Back when they said TV had respect for itself, it would go off.
Yeah. Right.
So
land of the free and home of the brave.
Yeah.
Waving that flag.
Yeah, waving that flag.
So yeah, I would catch it. I enjoyed it. I'm happy to know that it's on, and I think you all should do that. for those of us listening, you should say, hey, this is what I'm watching, and here's the platform I'm watching it on.
Yeah.
Yes, available on Amazon Prime.
Because I hate looking through all the platforms.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is $2.99, this is $3.99.
Yeah. In that vein, Baby Boy, $3.99. Or
we know it.
Or $1.99 at McKay's, if you find it in the used bin at McKay's.
Or it's airing on BET with Melvin's crack blurred out
with the biker pants
shorts.
All right, y'all.
If I could find that screenshot, that would have been that would have been an amazing.
Thank God you didn't.
I have it.
Okay.
On that note, y'all, this has been another Open Tab. We appreciate y'all. Catch us on Spotify, on Google podcast. I think we're on Apple now. I think we might be on Apple. I'm not sure. I feel like I got an email about that. It might have been spam. But and on YouTube now, guys. So
on YouTube,
check us out.
Airland and Sea.
Check us out, man, and then let us know. We really do appreciate every single one of you guys that listens and watches, and we do it for the culture, flowing straight from the Survival Scrolls, man. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.